Hola bandidos, ¿cómo estamos? Welcome to Mel's Magic Official. I'm Magic Mel, and this is Al, my spirit guide. And in season 6, we are rolling. This is episode 18 déjà, imagine. C'est fou. So, I've decided to make a bunch of shorter videos because I'm riding the wave of this inspiration. And quite frankly, this has to do with what I was telling you in my previous videos. I'm putting my energy into what brings me joy, into what I enjoy, into what makes me come alive. And this is part of my self expression. So the question is, where are you putting your energy? Is it worthwhile? Does it make you feel excited? Does it bring you joy? Is it something meaningful to you? Currently, what I'm highly enjoying is dancing. It makes me feel amazing, to say the least. And it's an interesting one because the predecessor, is that the right word, was 1.5 years of martial arts. So I was practicing ninjutsu. And I had a conversation earlier this morning with my German aunt, and she was like, "You never stick with someone, not yet. You never follow through." And I was thinking, I was actually proud of myself because, unlike in the past, I didn't get triggered. And I know that, for example, it does ring true to me as a human design generator. I follow my sacral. I follow what brings me joy and curiosity. I follow my bliss, a la Joseph Campbell. And that can be whatever it is for as long as it resonates. If it's 1 year, if it's 3 months, I don't know how long I'm going to be dancing, but as long as it brings me joy, as long as it energizes me, I'm going to keep on doing it. Let's not attach false loyalty to things just out of obligation. That is crazy. That sounds crazy to me. We can be committed to things and put our 100% committed energy into something as long as it rings true to us, as long as it also feeds us. Because I'm no longer just depleting myself. I used to be an overgiver, didn't have strong boundaries, didn't follow my joy essentially, and I'm done with that. So I honor myself, I honor my energy, and I know that by honoring myself and my energy, I actually am able to share more of myself. The more abundant I am, the more abundant I feel, the more I can share with you guys. And that's actually part of my coaching strategy too. I want to lead a certain lifestyle that is based on happiness, on joy. Meaning, I need to take care of myself first so that when I come into a coaching container, I can hold a certain anchor frequency for you. And I'm bringing the best of my frequency to you in the hope that it will help transmute whatever needs to be looked at in the present moment. And I think that's taking responsibility for our own energy. And it helps. I mean, just think about it. How many people do we come across in just a normal day? Whether you go to the supermarket, you run your errands. I made a list the other day and it was like 15 people. So again, we think that we are inconsequential in the larger picture. That is not true. Because depending on where you're coming from, how you approach people, you will have a certain impact on them. And everyone is important. Every situation is important. Every situation is a mirror. Every situation and person you encounter is an opportunity for you to either bring more joy, to aliven them, or to sap. You can either project fear, or you can project fear, or you can project love, joy, kindness, alegría. So up to you to choose. But remember from the last reading just now, how do you nourish yourself? How do you fill your own cup? That is really important because the next 5D relationships are wholesome, interdependent relationships where we are responsible for our own energy, taking care of certain emotional needs for our own first, feeling whole first, so that we can create from an energy of giving and receiving that no longer depletes us, that no longer comes from scarcity, that no longer manipulates essentially other people for them to meet our needs. You know what I mean? So again, going back to the sacred economy movement I was part of, the process was really one of self-individuation, empowerment, to come home to yourself, to realize that you have gifts to share. Because again, where's that book? I just brought it. I didn't. Oh, 1 second. Oh yeah, there it is. 1 second. I ordered Eisenstein's book because I listened to the guy, and I'm also nurturing myself with what I feel resonates. So from the gist of it, I already get that, a moneyless society, a new economy lies on exchanging gifts, which are not necessarily monetary. But money is a different topic I'll talk about. Maybe the next video, because I'm in a roll. But the sacred economy movement, the mandala movement, the alchemist movement was about coming home to your own gifts, seeing what are my true gifts, how can I integrate my outer life with my internal world, how do I feel more in coherence in my life in general so that everything fits well, so things are in harmony. For example, the good thing about Mel's Magic Official, if you're interested in my coaching, what you see is what you get. What you see here in the videos is the kind of coach I am in my coaching containers. I'm integral in that sense. I don't say one thing and then appear, off screen another way. My environment, my paintings, everything around me reflects what I want to feel, how I see myself. So as within, so without. I keep on repeating it, but it's very important to notice how everything is related. And the new economy is based on no longer just taking, and being in this neurotic state of self-consciousness and fear and survival mode, but really realizing that we're powerful creators with innate gifts to share. Each one of us here has a keynote in the largest symphony of the universe. And the universe depends on us to actually bring that voice our voice, share our gifts to make the world a more abundant place. And by more abundant, that's another polemical, I might trigger people. I mean, being resourceful, that starts with ourselves, managing our own feelings. Are we feeling resourceful, abundant, safe inside? Because that will project outwards. If I cannot provide safety for myself internally, I'm going to be constantly walking on eggshells out there, thinking everyone's out to get me, being essentially paranoid. And that just creates more fear, because fear attracts fear and expands fear. Al contrario, love attracts love and expands love. That's why where do we put our time, our energy, and our esfuerzo, our efforts? It's really crucial, guys. So I'm going to keep you posted on this book. It's quite a jamon, ein Schinken. We say in German. It's quite a thick book. But yeah, I'm super interested because it is the way the world is moving. The old paradigm is falling apart for a reason. There's chaos out there for a reason, because old structures put our authority all out there. And now we're asked to reconnect with our own inner authority. I always tell you here also, don't follow me. Don't put me on a pedestal. If you resonate with what I say, good. But that only means that what I'm saying is in you already. It takes two things to vibrate on the same frequency. Yeah? So you have everything inside of you. It's up to you, though, to connect with that and to bring it out, to express it, to share. Let us know who you are. Share your gifts. Share your joy. Share your beauty and your self-expression. That is enough. It's important. Invaluable. Let's go. Just at the bottom of the deck, I see the devil. We kind of surpassed this guy. That's why he's at the bottom of the deck. And the devil in a tarot is ego attachment, obsessions, giving into fear, giving into lower drives. And again, not to vilify them, but just to ask ourselves, does this still serve me? How am I keeping myself in bondage? How am I giving in to the voice of fear that's seducing me to stay the same, that is keeping me stuck, that is telling me that I'm safer if I'm stuck? Listen to the voice of the devil, give him a space in your consciousness, but then from your integrity, from your higher self, check in with your body, ask yourself, is this true? Does this still serve me? Or am I ready to let this go? Boom, that is the devil, bottom of the deck. Let's go. I've decided not to make these, not astronomy, what do you call that? Horoscope videos, each for one sign. It's not kind of my jazz at the moment. I'll just do a general tarot reading from the Rider-Waite deck for all of you, whether you're Scorpios, Leos, Virgos. Yeah, it's a kind of a general read. Vamos, connecting with my Asga team. You know what that is. If you don't, check my other videos. You should by now. And let's see what's in the air. Let's ask a good question, because good answers only come from good questions. So one question let's go that way. What have we just left behind? What have we left behind? What have we just come out of? What have we just been asked to release? Let's see if that rings true for you. I shared in my last video, episode 16, 17, the decisions I had to make out of my own integrity and self-honoring. Honoring my expansion, honoring the space I've created in my life, and honoring my inner guidance. I know it's difficult to make decisions sometimes. I used to be like numero uno person to shy away from decisions because I never trusted myself, my own decision making. I used to ask everyone but myself, and then end up even more confused because it's like, well, everyone else's opinion is just that. It's just an opinion. And at the end of the day, it's someone else's truth. It's not yours. Nobody's you. Nobody knows better than you. But we got to trust ourselves for that. So what have we just come out of? Ooh, Ace of Cups. Vale. We've just come out of talking about divine inspiration. I put a scarf on because it's a bit iffy, a bit chilly here. Oops. It's a bit hay viento aquí. So Ace of Cups is basically literally the divine coming out of the clouds, offering this new phase, this new chapter, offering inspiration, offering guidance. And look, it's like the Holy Grail in the hands of this cup with the Holy Spirit as a dove, no? And what do you call it in Catholicism? La hostia, the bread, the blood and bread of Christ. So it's kind of this divine cup that has been offered to us. Inspiration also coming from our angels, our guides, guiding us in the new direction. The point always being, did you accept the offer of that guidance, or did you doubt it or reject it? Because look, what inspiration essentially is in spirit, no? The voice of spirit being offered there to enlighten our own consciousness. And consciousness has a lot to do with water, because water is la prima materia. It's the easiest way for consciousness to move. That's why, channelers also, I also do it. I try to drink a lot of water because my intuition is more receptive when I'm hydrated. It makes sense. So you've just been given some inspiration, some guidance, and it looks like, you tell me, that you took that guidance, that you made the bold move of taking the leap of faith. It's called a leap of faith because it's a step into the unknown, in faith, not knowing what is next, but in faith, knowing that you're being supported and guided and that everything is happening for your higher good. So if you've done so, let me know in the comments box. I salute you, because it takes courage to have faith and to act in faith and not to give in into the devil, our fears. Yeah? So we just came out of receiving the Ace of Cups. What energy is currently reflected in our present situation? What energy is currently, literally came flying out. What energy is surrounding us at the moment? It's the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is, kind of bravado, caballero, who's got the sword. And remember, for me, the sword always signifies truth, clarity that comes from inside, from connecting with ourselves, and cutting away what no longer serves us. So you took that divine inspiration, you've cut out, cutting out sounds a bit drastic, but I guess it's a nice metaphor. It comes back to deciding. The root word, I need to check it, but I feel like the root word is from Latin, decidir, is slicing, cutting away. Because we can't be everything to everyone. We can't do everything at the same time. It's proven, multitasking doesn't work. We can only put our focus on one thing at a time and decide what belongs to me and what doesn't. That takes some deciding, making choices for our highest good, and cutting out, leaving behind anything that doesn't serve us anymore in the present moment. Might have served us in the past. We bless it, we say thank you, but we say, hey, no more. I need something new now. I've evolved. I'm ready for something new. So, bravo, using the Ace of Swords, Page of Swords to speak your truth, be in your truth, cut through the lies, and bring clarity for yourself and others. Shall we ask that question? Okay, from our present energy, what is coming up next? Thank you. And I always say that, my tarot readings are not like predicting the future as if it were some fixed thing. We create our future with every choice we make in the present moment, coming from our present state of consciousness, which is always evolving. I might say something in my videos, I look past and I'm like, damn, I don't even agree with that anymore. So I always say, don't just buy into everything I say. Does it resonate for you for where you're at now? Then we're on the same frequency. If not, then not. But also things always evolve. I don't claim to speak the ultimate truth. I just try my best to speak the truth I feel in the present moment, what feels right and congruent and integral in the present moment. That's all I can do. One day at a time, one moment at a time. What was my question, guys? What was my question? I forgot. What is coming up next? Okay, coming up next is the Eight of Swords. It is not as drastic as it looks. You see this like a lady virgin tied up, all this kind of bondage stuff going on here. Tied up in knots, in blindfold. She has one toe in the water of consciousness, intuition, one toe on terra, no? And you've got these crazy swords around her. But if you look at it, it's not like the swords are menacing her. The swords are stuck in the ground, and she might feel that she's surrounded by swords, by impossible venues. But if she could easily wiggle out of that and take the blindfold off and look around and say, hey, I actually have choices. I actually have avenues I can choose. So the Eight of Swords is usually when, and that's very common now when we're in this limbo transitional stage, where something concrete has not yet manifested, and having the minds that we have, our minds love concrete plans and things to hold on to have certainty. But as we transition, I always tell us that, and I tell myself also, let's be graceful with ourselves. Let's just come back into our body, out of the overthinking mind, which is the Eight of Swords, come back, rest in our being, do the necessary steps, use the necessary tools for us to feel grounded and nourished in the present moment, solid, so that we do not give in the stories our mind projects into the future, which are usually driven by fear, like catastrophical thinking, like, oh my God, I'm going to lose everything if I quit my job. Oh my God. How about thinking anything is possible in this field of possibilities? Now that I've created some space, now that I've followed my guidance, even though things might not be clear, I trust that the next step will be revealed to me as long as I'm present, grounded, and open to receive guidance for the next step. So don't get caught up in the Eight of Swords. Know that you can shake yourself free, okay? And that is just a general warning always, no? I don't know why we keep on projecting the worst case scenarios into the future. I mean, yeah, I get it. We all want to feel safe, but it's misusing our minds instead of using it to visualize and feel ourselves into the future we want to attract and embody. If we give in to fear and the old stories, we get caught in the mind loops and project the worst case scenario and then create the worst case scenario. So if you're actually struggling with mind loops or want to practice embodying a vision that you want to bring into existence, into your reality without the fear, me as a joy coach, as an integrative joy coach, I have the right tools to actually guide you in the process, to use your mind in the right way, to create the correct neural pathways that make you feel safe and help you embody in the present moment the version of yourself that you see yourself becoming. Boom, message me, email me if you're interested in my coaching. Next question. What can we ask? Let's make just one more card. What opportunity lies ahead? Nice and general. What opportunity lies ahead? The cards that don't really answer yes, no, hard yes, no questions. Because also the cards, let's not depend on them. That's another thing, I went through a phase where I every day pulled cards and wanted concrete answers. There's just, again, disempowering myself. The cards are just there to guide me internally. They're like a symbolic mirror. They are divination, or they do access higher realms and are channels for higher realms. Oops, I need to connect my computer to the battery to the thingy. But let's not outsource all of our power into the cards either. Yeah, at the end of the day, you have the power to choose, and the cards will only represent what is going on with you in the present moment, and that always changes, not because the present moment is always moving. What was my card? What is the opportunity that is coming up next? What opportunity lies around the corner? Thank you so much, the angels, spirit guides, ancestors, Asgard team. Oh, coming out of, okay, good. Coming out of heartache. And that's an important one. I feel that a lot of us watching here have gone through tremendous heartbreak, whether it was breaking your own heart, which for me lies at the essence of heartbreak. We usually blame the other person, but it's probably a reflection of how we have maybe portrayed ourselves, our boundaries, our needs. But we're coming out of that. We're coming out of this. You know, there's also, it's Chiron. We have deep wounds as human beings. We all carry existential wounds. I think it was betrayal, abandonment, separation. I mean, from source consciousness, essentially, because we are in separate avatar bodies. So these wounds are deep within us, and they do get triggered primarily in our romantic relationships, because those romantic relationships, they trigger our attachment wounds. And if you've been on the twin flame journey, but also in general, who hasn't been heartbroken in the past? No? Tell me. So you know what I'm speaking about. But this new cycle is really asking us, with the eclipse season, no? Asking us to step out of our mind loops that project fear, and know that we have the power to liberate ourselves. And that even if there was heartbreak, it was only an invitation to either love ourselves better, more fully, or as a training ground to love in a bigger sense, in a wider sense, not in this narrow, idealistic fairy tale thing where somebody out there is going to rescue me, swoop me off my feet. I mean, I wouldn't mind that. I mean, I like to be, what do you call it? Not romanticized, but courted, voila. But again, it comes back to empowerment. How do you treat your own heart? Have you listened to your own heart? Have you healed your own part? If not, this is the time to let the proverbial swords drop out and to come back into the beauty, the richness, the vastness of your heart, which really can hold the entire world. I mean, it's a lofty thing to say, but I would like to experience, a kind of just general state of love where I can just be love and extend that love into all beings, because all beings are worthy of love. We all come from that at the heart of the matter, no? So don't be stuck in your mind. Forgive yourself, continue the healing, even if it's frustrating, even if you think like, oh my God, I thought I'm done with this. I've had that before. I'm like, why is this abandonment wound coming up again? I thought I've dealt with this. Things come back in a cyclic manner, no? The universe brings maybe a similar situation just to see how we respond to it now, with our current awareness, with how far we've come, with all of the wisdom we've gathered from our pain and our suffering. So I invite you to release the swords and really connect with your heart in general also. One of the meditations I try to do, I mean, I haven't been consistent with that actually, but is to have a conversation with my heart. This tender, beautiful organ that is much more than just the organ per se, but this magnetic, energetic portal through which source consciousness shines through, and through which I can relate to the entire world. What does my heart need? What does it want? How is it feeling? It's like in Paulo Coelho's Alchemist, no? I think, what's his name, Santiago, he also had this conversation with his heart. It's just between you and your heart. That's really intimacy. So tend to your own heart. See if there's any swords still stuck in it. And, don't force the swords out, but just maybe flip your heart upside down so they fall out by themselves. It's about release, no? And then filling whatever scars or wounds there are, not hiding your scars. Your scars show the battles you've gone through, but infusing your heart with what it really needs, your own self-love. How's that for a general reading? Let me know if anything resonates in the comments box. And this is video numero tres in one day. Magic Mel's official output. Mel's Magic official output. Yeah? So if you resonate, please let me know. I always like to hear from you. I appreciate every one of you here, and like, share, subscribe. Be ready for episode 18 or 19. I'm getting confused now. Next episode coming up super soon, because I'm putting my attention, my love, and my joy into Mel's Magic official, and I hope something resonates. Voila. Ciao, bandidos.